let me tell you a small story. Somewhere in the world, this moment, a tear falls on the face of a child. Hungry, alone, helpless, and orphaned. That single tear takes a long and endless journey from little eyes that have seen too much injustice, to cheeks that have never been kissed goodnight, to a jawline that longs for nourishment, and onto little hands which seem to be holding the weight of the world. While all of us feel sad for this child, ultimately, we are the cause for her pain and suffering. She cries because of the war raging around her. She cries because she has seen her parents killed in that war. She cries because she has seen her home tumbling to nothing in the very same war. And all we desire, just like this little child, is a perfect world devoid of war and violence. Advertisements insist that they can provide us with the perfect skin or the perfect body. Self-help books and magazines insist that they can provide us with information for achieving the perfect marriage or for landing the perfect job. In fact, perfection seems so easily attainable until the time you turn the news on. Then, you are bombarded with stories of earthquakes and other natural calamities. You see emails asking for help and support to feed the hungry. You see front pages of newspapers filled with pictures of murder, crime, war, violence. Why is it so? Reconciling the seemingly endless recipes for perfection with the blatant imperfections existing in the world around us is as difficult as it is exhausting. So today, I'm here to talk to you about one such striking imperfection that has affected and taken the lives of innumerable people: war and violence. Recently, when I was browsing the internet to gather information for my economics investigatory project, I came across this article whose title caught my attention. It said, "The extensive use of children as soldiers in Africa." And according to that, more than 120,000 children are currently engaged in armed conflict in Africa, some of them being not more than 7 to 8 years of age. I was shocked. I decided to research more and understand the complex issue of young men getting selected into rebel groups in war-torn regions. What I found was both surprising and heartbreaking. Young men who had experienced extreme war violence in the past would often consider that as a reason to take up arms in the future. Even more tragically, these very same young men would struggle to reintegrate peacefully into their communities even after hostilities end. I was struck by the cyclicality of war and conflict. Even after formal peace had been declared, war had traumatized populations that had experienced extremely high levels of violence. Some people believe that, okay, there was war before, but now it's over, so now it's all good, now it's all peaceful. Well, then it's time to rethink. Does ending a war always imply an end to all the problems associated with it? Or does war violence morph into other less visible forms of violence that continue to drastically affect communities and families, even after bullets stop flying? Currently, the levels of political conflict in the world are among the highest since the Cold War. The world is to host the largest number of refugees since World War II. The need to understand how to truly end conflict and achieve sustainable peace is more pressing than ever. Every day, I imagine how real peace tastes like, feels like, and smells like. I imagine the radiant beauty of love in the heart of every human being, united and hopeful for the future. I can see the world slowly transforming into a wilderness. I can hear the thunder that will one day destroy us too. I can feel the suffering of millions, and yet, when I look up at the sky, somehow I feel that everything will change for the better, that this cruelty too shall end one day, that peace and tranquility shall return to humanity. In fact, the very trait of being humane is deeply instilled within each and every one of us sitting here. Then why is it that sometimes we resist that one trait which makes us what we are and has got us so far. Spreading peace and harmony in today's world is not just an option, but a necessity. If you think of it logically, violence is completely impractical because it is a descending spiral end in destruction for all. It is immoral because it seeks to humiliate the opponent rather than win his understanding. It seeks to annihilate rather than convert. It thrives on hatred rather than love. It destroys communities and makes universal brotherhood impossible. Violence leaves society in monologue rather than dialogue. It instills bitterness in the hearts of survivors and brutality in the hearts of destroyers. Overall, violence defeats itself. To replace the old paradigm of war and violence with a new paradigm of waging peace, we must be pioneers who can push the boundaries of human understanding. We must be doctors who can cure the virus of violence. We must be soldiers of peace who can do more than just preach to the public. Last but not the least, we must be artists who will make the world our masterpiece. All of us love happy endings. Now, I started my speech with a story, but I did not complete it. Now it is up to each and every one of us to decide how this story ends. The words I've said will have no effect. I have voiced them, they've been heard, now they're gone. But peace is our responsibility. Mahatma Gandhi had once said, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." Unless we change what is in our hearts, we cannot change what is in the minds of the people. Unless the love we dream of exists within ourselves, it cannot exist within our world. And unless this love reaches our world, a tear falls on the face of a child.